Beneath the grandeur of Rome's great palaces, a secret world of toil and sweat. A hidden life of luxury's excess, where shadows play and secrets rest. You enter the bathhouse through a hidden corridor, not as a guest, but as a ghost. The marble is warm beneath your bare feet. Steam curls through the halls. You are not here to relax. You are here to serve. Your name is not remembered. Your hands are burned, your body tired. Every basin of water must be filled. Every floor must shine. You feed the fires beneath the baths that soothe emperors above. Welcome to the hidden life beneath Roman luxury. Here, in the emperor's sumptuous palace, marble floors gleam and gold adorns every wall. But what is this place if not a prison for the eyes? A labyrinth of luxury where shadows play at hide and seek with secrets they won't keep. With practiced ease, you navigate this world, avoiding the gilded cages that hold the captive birds whose songs would pierce the veil of night. Their mournful cries echo your own, a symphony of despair. Your master sleeps, or perhaps he is dead. His fevered dreams leave him drenched in sweat, his skin a canvas of torture. And you, his slave, must tend to his every need. The rules are simple. Do not touch the emperor's things. Do not breathe too loud. Do not exist. In the emperor's eyes, you are nothing, a wraith, a shade, a memory that lingers just beyond the sight of day. You move through the palace, a silent film in flickering lamplight, tending to the dying embers in the hearth, feeding the hungry flames with logs from the sacred tree. Each snap, each crackle, a tiny victory over the encroaching dark. For in this realm of endless night, only the shadows of men remain, trapped forever in the gilded cage of their own design, forever seeking solace in the cold marble arms of endless night. And as the first pale fingers of dawn reach through the cracks in the blind, you steal a moment's respite, a stolen breath, a fleeting sigh, before the sun's first light paints the sky. You are the forgotten, the nameless, the unseen. You are the hidden life beneath Roman luxury. You wouldn't last a day as a Roman bath slave. And if you did, you wouldn't survive the baths of Caracalla. You also wouldn't understand how the Romans used baths to get clean, stay in power, or even hear messages from the gods. Today, you'll do all those things. You'll bathe like an emperor, learn the dark secrets of the most powerful man in Rome, and discover how the Romans heard the voice of the divine amidst the steam. Welcome to my channel. First, you would have to become a Roman bath slave. It is 5 a.m. You wake up without waking up. One moment, you're sleeping fitfully in a crowded dormitory. The next, you're already working. You don't feel the sweat soaking through your tunic, the dirt caked under your fingernails. You don't think about food because there isn't any. You move like a machine, hauling heavy amphorae filled with olive oil from the storeroom to the scraping benches where the senators will soon recline. You stoke the furnace that drives the hypocaust, this system of pipes and vents that makes the baths warm. You feed small pebbles into the roaring maw until it burns so hot it scorches your breath. You poke and prod at the fires until your arms ache. You tend to the caldarium, the hottest bath, the tepidarium, the middle ground, and the frigidarium, the cold plunge, where you yourself would never swim. You wipe down marble, knowing the same marble has been polished for centuries. You fetch towels for the guests, while keeping track of how many are used, so you know how much oil to pour for each returning patron. You sweep the floors, expecting applause, but getting only impatient shouts. You clean vomit off the marble, cursing the guest who threw up after drinking too much wine. And as the hours pass, the same words ring in your ears, though you don't care what language they're in, because you're too tired to care about anything. You are a Roman bath slave. You're not paid in silver. You're given rations, bread, sometimes wine, if you're good. And there is no end to the heat, no escape from the steam, no room to rest. You are naked, invisible, expected to be perfect. And then the guests arrive and your hardest work begins. But first, let's look at the luxury of the Roman elite. Let's contrast this life with the other side of the coin. While you scrape sweat from the walls of the frigidarium, the coldest bathhouse, someone else is reciting Virgil. He can do that because he's wearing a fine linen tunic and is barefoot, though he doesn't feel the burning hot marble beneath his feet. He's too busy talking politics, poetry, and profit with his friends. His back is being massaged by a slave with perfumed oil. The muscles in his shoulders roll like dice across the smooth marble. His mind is sharp. He is well read. He knows the latest gossip. He is relaxed. He feels alive. This is the world of the Roman elite, a world of leisure and luxury, a world of complete comfort. This is the other side of the coin. Now, let's look at the man who bathed to stay in power. Meet Caracalla, a name synonymous with luxury, power, and cruelty. He ruled Rome from 198 to 217. When he came to power, he spilled blood. He murdered his own grandmother, Julia Maesa, and his grandfather, Septimius Severus. But he kept his throne by building baths. I'm not kidding. Look around. The baths of Caracalla are one of the greatest architectural achievements of the ancient world. They consist of vast echoing rooms supported by vaulting domes and decorated with stunning mosaics. Fountains bubbled in secluded gardens, and sculptures of gods and heroes adorned every corner. These baths were a gift to the people of Rome, sure, but they were also a gift to himself. You see, Caracalla was desperate for love, or maybe he just wanted to be feared. Either way, he lavished gifts on everyone in the empire. In 212, he granted Roman citizenship to all free men in the empire. The idea was that everyone was equal, everyone belonged to Rome. But it was really just a clever way to collect more taxes. Everyone had to pay taxes now, and he used that money to build baths, roads, aqueducts, and statues. He wanted to be remembered as the greatest emperor Rome ever had. So he built colonnades of steam to distract from his cruelty. And when his own soldiers grew tired of him, he was murdered on the road, urinating, they say. But his baths still stand. Even power dies, steam fades, stone remains. Okay, let's move on. Now we need to talk about how the Romans got clean. But I'm not talking about the rich here. I mean, how did ordinary people take a bath? Well, the answer is simple. They went to the public baths. Now, you might be thinking, oh great, just like today, right? Well, not exactly. See, the public baths weren't just a place to get clean. They were a place to socialize, do business, and even hear messages from the gods. People of all social classes bathed together there, and they did it completely naked. The baths consisted of three main parts: the frigidarium, the cold plunge, the tepidarium, the warm bath, and the caldarium, the hot sauna. Each had its own set of rules and customs. For example, in the frigidarium, it was customary to throw coins into the water as an offering to the gods. In the Tepidarium, people would cover themselves in oil and scrape it off to remove dirt and dead skin. In the Caldarium, people would cover themselves in ashes and slap themselves to improve their circulation. Of course, there were also the showers, which were usually cold and rarely private. But the most interesting part of the baths was the steam room. The steam room was considered the hottest part of the baths, both literally and figuratively. It was here that people would go to relax, socialize, and even hear messages from the gods. How, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Inside the steamy darkness, the air thick with anticipation, an old woman emerges from the swirling mists. Her eyes are closed, her head is tilted back, and a thin smile plays on her lips. She raises her arms slowly, as if in surrender, and whispers something to the unseen presence in the room. The others watch in silence, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames of the braziers that line the walls. One by one, they too succumb to the call of the oracle, their bodies trembling, their voices echoing in the vast chamber. But why? What compels these men and women to risk everything, to expose their souls to the whims of fate? The answer lies in the heart of the steam, where the veil between the worlds is thinnest, where the echoes of the past mingle with the whispers of the future, where the oracle resides. And tonight, the oracle has a message for one of them, a message that will change the course of their lives forever. Okay, now we need to talk about the secret rituals of the Roman baths. We talked about the spiritual aspect of bathing, but now it's time to dive deeper, to uncover the hidden rituals and practices that made the Roman baths a place of mystery and magic. Our journey begins in the darkest depths of the baths, where the shadows dance and the secrets lie. Here, beneath the cold, unforgiving stare of the marble gods, the initiates gather. Their faces are pale, their voices hushed, their movements precise. They are members of the cult of mysteries, and their rituals are shrouded in secrecy. Their practices were varied and their beliefs complex, but there were some common threads that ran through all of them. For example, they believed that the water had healing powers. They used it to cure everything from physical ailments to psychological problems. They also believed that the water could purify the soul. They used it to cleanse themselves of sin or bad luck. Finally, they believed that the water could reveal hidden truths. They used it to gain insight into the future or to uncover the secrets of the past. To the Romans, the baths were more than just a place to bathe. They were a place to heal, to connect with the divine, and to discover the secrets of the universe. If you want to learn more about the history of bathing, check out the description for more resources. As the last noble leaves, the heat lingers. You drain the basins, you mop the floors, you sweep the ashes. Tomorrow you will do it again, not because it is glorious, not because it is remembered, because someone must keep the baths hot. Even in the empire of marble, it is the unseen who carry the fire. This is a story about an unnamed protagonist who serves the Emperor of Rome. The emperor is so powerful that he has his own personal volcano to keep him warm. But when he goes to bathe, he needs someone to clean the ashes that accumulate in the bottom of the tub. And so our hero cleans the baths, not for glory, not for recognition, but simply because someone has to do it. He is the unseen who carries the fire. What a powerful image! The idea that even in the greatest empires, there are people who are not seen, and yet they carry the fire of life, the warmth of the hearth, the heart of the home. We may not see their faces, but we know that they are there, and that knowledge gives us comfort. It reminds us that we are not alone,